big breaking news which is coming in. We are quickly shifting focus across to the Parliament. There's a massive crackdown which has happened. 11 more MPs have now been suspended, and this includes Sushmita, Monsoon Noor, Shanta Chetri, Dola Sen, Shantanu Nadimul, A.A. Rahim and Girirajan. All of them have now been suspended. This in continuation with the suspensions that we have seen earlier yesterday as well, and now there are more suspensions coming in from the Parliament. That's the big breaking news which is coming in. Of course, the opposition has said that this is a crackdown on the opposition's voice inside the Sansad. Let me go across to Sharon, who's joining us. Sharon, several of the reminders and warnings later, all of those who held up banners inside the court, the Sansad now have been suspended. Now 11 more are joining the fray.
Well, that is right. Yesterday, after about 4 MPs were suspended from Lok Sabha, today there were repeated warnings that was given by in Rajya Sabha as well by the chairman, deputy chairman, I beg your pardon, saying that showing banners, placards inside the house of the well of the house is not allowed. There were about 4 repeated warnings that was in fact given by the deputy chairman, saying that the TMC MPs are supposed to go back to their seats. There were also left and the DMK that were also protesting. Finally, it was proposed by the Parliament Affairs Minister, MOS Parliament Affairs Minister V. Muralidharan, that these are the names of the leaders who have been showing utter disrespect of the House and they should be suspended. This was the proposal that was made by the MOS Parliamentary Affairs, after which the Deputy Chairman has in fact said that these members are in fact suspended. So let me just go through the names of the members who have been suspended. TMC MP Sushmita Dev, Monsoon Noor, Shanta Chetri, Dola Sen, Shantanu Sen, Nadimul, A. Rahim from the CPI, Girirajan. All these members have in fact been suspended as of now for the rest of the remaining session of the monsoon session.
So for the monsoon session, they have been now suspended. So 4 of them from Congress yesterday, 11 more MPs now being suspended. What is the opposition saying and how is the government countering their charges?
The opposition has been saying, yesterday also we have seen after the suspension of Congress MPs, the Congress MPs have in fact been saying that how this is intimidation by the present government, and they are in fact not trying to have any sort of discussion. They are running away from the discussion on GST. Today as well, we have seen that since morning the Aam Aadmi Party, the TMC, the left and the DMK in fact were protesting inside Rajya Sabha since morning. Even the question hour, which was in fact a resolution that was passed by all the parties that there will be no disruption. Even that was disrupted today continuously by the opposition leaders, and since morning warnings were being given to these MPs, and now 11 of the MPs have in fact been suspended from Rajya Sabha. They have been saying that all they are asking for is an immediate discussion on GST. Now the government has been saying that they are willing to have a discussion, but the finance minister is in fact not really well. Once she recovers from COVID, there is going to be a discussion. But the opposition leaders have been claiming that they want a discussion right now. It's an immediate, it is an issue of utmost importance, and right now they want a discussion. But clearly, we are seeing that there was a lot of disruption that was happening in Rajya Sabha today. Since morning, there were at least 5 warnings that were given by the deputy chairman in Rajya Sabha, but ultimately the opposition parties were not listening. They were in fact sloganeering, showing placards at the well of the house, and now finally 11 of these MPs from the TMC, from the left and from the DMK has in fact been suspended as of now.
Well, in fact, Rajiv Agarwal is joining us, a BJP MP. I believe we have a soundbite of him. Listen in to what the BJP has been saying after the skating attack came in from the opposition, calling it a stifling of opposition voices.
The government had proposed the suspension of 4 members of parliament. Let's just talk to him about what had transpired inside the house and what can we expect in coming days. राजन जी, जो कल का एक्शन लिया गया, सरकार की ओर से प्रस्ताव आया था और आप उस वक्त पीठासीन थे, क्या एग्जैक्ट घटना हुई थी और इस तरह की अगर प्रोटेस्ट जारी रहेंगे, क्योंकि विपक्ष की ओर से कोई संकेत नहीं कि प्रोटेस्ट रोकने वाले हैं, आज भी प्रोटेस्ट हुए हैं हाउस के अंदर, तो क्या इस तरह की और एक्शन हम एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं?
देखिए, हाउस के अंदर प्रोटेस्ट भी चर्चा के माध्यम से होता है। आपको पूरा अवसर होता है सरकार की आलोचना करें, बल्कि देखा जाए तो विपक्ष की ये अधिकार भी है, उनकी जिम्मेदारी भी है, दे शुड डू इट, लेकिन वो उसको न करके हंगामा करते हैं और कल ऑनरेबल स्पीकर ने ये बात कही कि आप जो है प्लीज ये प्लेकार्ड्स मत दिखाइए, उनको आग्रह किया। अरे भाई मुझे कार्रवाई करनी पड़ सकती है और मैं 3 बजे चर्चा शुरू करवा दूंगा, ऐसा उन्होंने आश्वस्त किया। इसके बाद भी व्हेन एट 3 PM हाउस रीअसेंबल्ड, उन्होंने कुछ का जो है संज्ञान नहीं लिया एंड दे कंटिन्यूड देयर एजिटेशन इन दैट वे, प्लेकार्ड दिखाना इत्यादि इत्यादि। तो फिर वो एक बड़ी कठोर कार्रवाई मानते हैं लोग भी, और चेयर कभी भी उस कार्रवाई को करते समय की प्रसन्नता नहीं होती है चेयर को, लेकिन वो करना पड़ा नियम 374 के अंतर्गत 4 हमारे ऑनरेबल।
Well, there you have it. You have the BJP MPs coming out and said that repeatedly requests were made by the Speaker to stop showing the placards inside the well of the House. However, the opposition did not relent and they continued to break the order and the protocols as per the rule book of the Parliament, following which the suspension has happened. Of course, the opposition says that they have every right to protest against the government because the government is running away from a discussion on GST. Remember, all along, the government of India has been saying that they are ready to have a conversation about the rupee as well as the GST. However, the finance minister is down with COVID, which is why once she recovers, there will be a detailed conversation on the floor of the Parliament. However, the opposition MPs are refusing to relent. As you can see, they were protesting inside as well as outside the Parliament, holding placards. Remember, holding placards is not allowed as per the parliamentary rule book. It is something that the Speaker had warned them repeatedly, several times at that they should put the placards down and stop protesting. However, they continued with the protest. And look at the who's who of who all have now been suspended because of this. One of them is Sushmita Deb, then there is Monsoon Noor, there is Shanta Chetri, Dola Singh of the TMC, Shantanu Nadimul, A.A. Rahim, Giri Rajan. Several of them have been suspended. From the Trinamool specifically also, several of them have been suspended. There's also Kani Mozi who has been suspended along with the others. In fact, some of them had shown what they are saying, utter disregard for the House and its members. Let me go across to Sherin. Sherin, the fierce war of words has already begun. However, the opposition's not relenting when it comes to a discussion on GST. Why are they not accepting the argument of the NDA that it will happen when the finance minister recovers?
Derek O'Brien just moved out of the Parliament, and he was in fact part of the protest that was happening at the well of the House in Rajya Sabha. And while there were questions that was being asked that why, how many people were suspended, to which he only had one answer, that this is not how Parliament functions. He wants that the opposition and the current dispensation, there needs to be a smooth functioning between both of them. Clearly, Derek O'Brien alleges that the government is trying to muzzle the voice of the opposition. They are not trying to listen, that they want an immediate discussion on GST. While the government is saying that they need to wait for a proper, for the finance minister to come back from the recovery, and once she's back, there is going to be a discussion. But the opposition parties have been claiming that these discussions need to be immediate because these are the factors that are going to affect the life of a common man, and these need to be immediately discussed. But that is not what the government has been listening to, is what the allegation that is coming from the opposition. So what we are getting to know is that around 6 TMC MPs, 2 DMK MPs and 2 CPI MPs are the ones who have in fact been suspended at the moment. And the statement, it was in fact proposed by the MOS Parliamentary Affairs Minister V. Muralidharan, saying that there is utter disrespect that has in fact been shown by the opposition parties since morning. There were a number of warnings that has in fact been given by the Speaker, but clearly they were not listening to it. And now finally around 11 MPs have in fact been suspended from Rajya Sabha. Yesterday it was around 4 Lok Sabha Congress MPs who were suspended because placards were shown in the well of the House. And today also, since morning, the Aam Aadmi Party, the TMC, the DMK were protesting, showing placards against the GST, were protesting. But the Speaker had in fact been giving them warning, saying that they are not supposed to show placards. But now finally...
Well, it was the Lok Sabha Speaker yesterday who drew the red line.